Guys, Will from Melbourne Strength and Conditioning. So just to follow up to our Fit Ball SHELC Progressions, we spoke about how they're a lead up to the Nordic curl, but they're also a great exercise in their own right. So here's just a couple of more advanced progressions from that SHELC series. So the first one, I'm going to get a client Deb here demonstrating the Vel slide SHELC. So here's either the proper Vel slides that we've got here, or we can get other versions. You can use paper plates at home, pretty much anything that'll work, but as long as you've got a surface that's slick. So see, Deb's just planted her heels right in the middle of Vel slides. It's exactly the same cues as with the Fit Ball. So we'll get Deb to bridge up like a glute bridge. So the glutes stay on, we're looking for those hips to stay higher, and then she just lets them come out, all the way up to straight, and squeeze them in, and that's the working part. That's where she's really going to fight to keep the hips up. So out again. Now where this is a bit more challenging is, as we can see, she's much flatter to the ground. The Fit Ball, being a higher implement, provides a bit of a decline. As well as that, we also now have friction, right? The ball rolls quickly, and now we've got the force of Deb's feet pushing down on the Vel slide, creating friction against the surface, and that's what she's got to work against. Right, so we'll just do one more, Deb. Let's see how Deb does a really good job of keeping her hips right up. She never breaks into hip flexion here. Okay, so that's the first one. That's a Vel slide. You can play around with all the same progressions that we went through on the Fit Ball SHELC as well. We can move to single leg versions of that as well. Now one other one here is with the power wheel. So we'll get Deb hooked up in here. It's a bit of a nuisance to get strapped in. Right, now not everyone's going to have one of these obviously, but if you do, there's a few cool movements you can do with them. Some for the abs, using them as an ab wheel, and variations thereof. But they're also great for a SHELC. Now this is even further along the progression spectrum, because what we've got now is on the eccentric phase, so where she's coming out, the wheel actually wants to roll away from her, so she really has to decelerate that. So same thing, Deb comes up, and here, as she has to change direction, that's where she's working really hard. So Deb does a really good job of keeping her hips up again, right, all the way out, bring it back in. So she gets momentum here, that wheel wants to keep rolling, and she's got to resist it, she's got to decelerate, and bring it back. Now as well as that, she's also balancing on a thin object, so she's got a bit of that transverse plane stability to work on, wanting to drop left and right. So she also has to apply her weight evenly, so it can be good for ironing out some asymmetries left and right. Because if she puts too much weight on one side, right, she's going to tip over and go a bit crooked. Right, let's do one more for them, Deb. So out, decelerates, returns the motion. Cool. So there's two more advanced progressions from the SHELC series. You can add them in and use them as a great exercise on their own, or we can take any of those and progress onto the Nordic curl. Right, try them out, see how you go.